Hey kids, this is Pig from WanderingGoblin.com, and I'm here talking to Chris, Binky, Launius, and apparently Superman is talking over me right now. And we're here talking about DC Universe Online. Chris is going to show us some of the gameplay, and is going to give us some tips about this game, which no one's ever seen before. Chris, how are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. It's great to be here at Comic-Con showing off DC Universe Online for the first time ever to the public.
And this is a great venue for DC Universe because obviously comic book fans.
Oh, absolutely. It's amazing to be here. It's such a relevant product, you know. It's from what caused this convention in the first place, you know, the DC Universe, the comic books, the lore and legend of the DC era. I mean, it's amazing to be part of that now, you know, and be relevant on the show floor and have people walk by and go, oh my God, I can be in the DC Universe now, you know?
Now, your game, it appears, is going to feature some of the more iconic characters of DC Universe and some of the more iconic villains.
Absolutely. All of the major iconic characters and villains in the DC Universe will be represented in the game. And in addition to that, the characters, the players, will get to create their own characters, their own villains and heroes. They will get to become the next legend. They will get to become the next great DC icon in the game.
That sounds pretty good, Chris. Chris, can you show us a little bit about the gameplay?
Absolutely. So what I've done here is I've just started this demo that we're running here at Comic-Con, and you can see one of Brainiac's overseers have come down and they're trying to take over Midtown and Metropolis. So I have a character who is a flights character, so I have the ability of flight, so I'm going to try to get up here and get away, but they can still get me, so I'm going to actually drop into the action and go to work. And what this is this is a me but dying.
Yeah, Chris, that was really good. Okay, let's see what happens now.
Yeah.
Go ahead, you were saying.
So what it is this is an action game, an action combat game set in a massively multiplayer environment. So there's no clicking the button and waiting for the moves to happen. There's no queuing up of the moves. When I press square on this controller, I attack. When I press triangle, I attack. You know, the moment I do an action, it happens in the game. Whereas before, you know, queuing up moves kind of took you out of the action. We're moving away from that. And so what I'm doing here is using some of the special moves that I have. And you can use this on either the PS3 or the PC. Right now I'm running on a PC, but I'm using the PS3 controller just plugged into the USB port.
Well, that's pretty convenient. Now you can, the game is, when players log into the game, will they be able to play with players on PS3? Is it all going to be, I guess, centralized servers? Or is it going to be two separate PC players play with PC players, PS3 players play with PS3 players?
You know, that's a great question, and that's something that we're still kind of exploring and trying to figure out, you know. It's really going to be ultimately what gives the best user experience.
Okay, so that's yet to be determined, but I will say the gameplay looks very, very sharp from what we're seeing right now.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, this is the very first public demo, first hands-on of this game ever in the world. We debuted a couple weeks ago at E3, and we wanted to let the fans have first shot at playing the game. That's why we chose Comic-Con, you know, where this game belongs. And we're still in a very, very early stage of development. So, you know, it's really great to have a product that's this stable and this, you know, playable at this early stage of development, where I can go in, and one of the great features of the game is weaponization. Pretty much any object in the game I can pick up and use as a weapon to either beat my opponents with or use as a projectile. So I can go over to this city bus, grab it, you know, I can go into flight mode, carry it up to the sky here, find a bad guy, and just hurl it through the sky at them.
Now, Chris, that is impressive, I have to say. You don't see a whole lot of that.
Oh, absolutely not. You know, we're really trying to take the massively multiplayer genre into the whole new level of gameplay. Really invite a lot of people who have been on the edge of the, you know, wanting to get into the MMO world, into the MMO world in an action-oriented space. You know, it's really a fighting action-style game with a lot of other people.
Well, let me ask you this, Chris. It looks like there's an experience bar at the bottom of the screen there. Do the characters level up? Do they become more powerful over time?
Absolutely. So as you level up, you gain new abilities and skills, and you also hone the main powers that you have. You know, you're not going to gain additional powers as you go through the level. So when you're in character creation, you choose your powers, you choose your weapon type, and as you level up, you hone those powers and learn to use them. You learn their intricacies and their abilities hidden within.
Yeah, very much a comic book thing to do. Just sharpen those powers up and find new ways to use them over time.
That's exactly right.
Now, Chris, I noticed you're carrying a bus or a van around here. What are you going to do with that?
You know, I'm going to go over here to where some bad dudes are, and I'm going to launch it at them. Now I'm going to hop out and use, if I can find the bad dudes again. Looks like I destroyed them all. Oh, there's some. Oh, I just got hit with a bus.
Now, did the enemies throw that at you?
The enemies picked that up and threw that at me. And so what I just did was I used an area of attack's ability right now and just took care of them. I offed them.
Nicely done.
And so, you know, the main objective of this particular demo is to save these infected civilians that Brainiac has taken over. So now that I've knocked them out, I've saved her, and you know, I'm that one step further to completing the quest.
All right, now a superhero MMO, especially an action-oriented superhero MMO, obviously City of Heroes, to some degree, broke the mold on this, or I want to say started a new genre on this. Where are you guys taking it, obviously, in terms of evolution in regard to DC Universe?
So, you know, we're taking it to the next level. We are incorporating both heroes and villains in one world. We have the iconic characters of the DC Universe, you know, over 70 years of magic, essentially. We have the iconic locations that we've all grown up with, we're all very familiar with. The action combat aspect of it really kind of takes it to a superhero-like feeling. We also have a really good physics engine incorporated in the game, which allows me to pick up those weapons and those vehicles and throw them at people. You know, if I have the ice power, I can freeze someone in a ball of ice, pick that person up in the ball of ice, and use them as a weapon. Like right now, I have a light power, so I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to freeze this guy in a ball of light, pick him up, and now I can use him as a weapon to fight others, or throw him out of the fray. So it really adds a whole new level of action and interaction into that massively multiplayer game.
Yeah, it's actually a very, very interesting use of physics there, and it's not something that we're typically seeing in MMO space.
Absolutely.
Well, Chris, is there anything else you could tell us about the game before we close up here?
You know, we're just very excited to be working with such a great license, with such a great product, and you know, we look forward to bringing it to the people and to the comic book fans out there everywhere. You know, and this game will be coming out when it's ready. You know, we're not going to push it out before it's ready.
So you jumped on my last question there, Chris. Did you feel that one coming?
I felt it.
So now we're looking at some of the materials seem to indicate there's an 09 release date. Obviously, you don't have a hard date on that. Is that your target?
You know, our target is when we feel the game lives up to the expectations of the DC Universe. Okay. You know, because you know, you really have one chance with these massively multiplayer games, and we are not going to waste that chance. You know, this game is such an important game to a lot of people. You know, 70 years of history and lore and memories that we have to get right, and that's what we're going to do.
Well, I think that's a good approach, because you only get one launch. So, all right, guys, this is Pig, and I'm talking to Binky, and we're talking about DC Universe Online. Hope you enjoyed this first look.